All right, so we want to uh, start on an interactive object that tracks when it is hit by the projectile. So we made a target game object that has a rigid body, and when we press play, we can aim our ship at it, and when we fire, it kind of falls down. The bullet should probably disappear so that it doesn't keep trying to bang on the thing, and we can write that code too. But first things first, here's our target. If we want to have logic for doing this, we need to make a decision. Should the target decide that a bullet hit it and therefore we should increase the score, or should the bullet decide, I'm a bullet, I just hit something, it's a target, therefore we should increase the score? We could go either way. Any thoughts on that? I'm happy to do it either way, because the hooks are the same. In Unity, the game object that has a rigid body will receive collision events from physX. So we can write scripts to interface with that event. The default script wizard doesn't give us that. It gives us start and update, but there's plenty of other functions. You're going to see one of them right now. Let's go back to our Nerf bullet. Open prefab. I'm going to add a component to it. We're going to call this bullet logic. And it's a new script. So let's double click on this. Yep. Oh, I'm sorry about that. So this thing does what? Handles when the bullet hits something, increase the score, destroy self, etc., etc. How do we know when the bullet hits a target? Well, turns out there's a function for when two colliders touch each other. There's actually three functions when colliders touch each other. There's one when the colliders first touch each other, the first frame they touch. It's called on collision enter. There's one that gets called every frame that two colliders are touching. It's called on collision stay. And there's one that gets called the frame that two colliders stop touching each other. It's called on collision exit. So which one do you think makes the most sense to listen for in order to do this logic? The first frame one. So I think it's called on collision. So there's on collision enter, it's 2D cousin, on collision exit is 2D cousin, and then stay, and it's 2D cousin. So we'll use on collision enter. And it takes a collision class. A collision class is not a collider, but it has a reference to a collider. It tells us other information as well, not just the thing you collided with. It tells you the point you collided with, the normal, which is cool because then you can do like explosion effects and impact things, decals, and you can develop an interesting damage system or interaction system. All right. So if the thing we hit is a target, increase the score, destroy self, etc., etc. First, let's see if we see this event. So we'll debug.log. We hit something. What's the thing that we hit? Collision dot. Hey, there's a reference to the game object of the thing that we just hit. So we can go collision.gameObject.name. Right. Let's see what we hit. I'm going to go back to the scene. That's going to save because we just edited the prefab. And if we open up our console, well, that millisecond spam is probably not my favorite thing anymore. Let's turn that off. Where was that? Was that in the ship? Just turn that off. That's going to be a problem. All right. There we go. Now we'll play. We'll press clear on the console. We'll run this again. We hit fire. Pop. We hit something. Target. We hit something. Ground. Why do we get 2 collision callbacks from our bullet? Clearly we got 2, right? Because we actually did hit 2 things. Probably not what we want. Let's make this a little bit better. But we know we're hitting something. We're not testing if it actually is a target yet. But regardless, once we are done, self-destruct. How can we get rid of this bullet prefab? We instantiated it in our object spawner. We hit a target. Now the bullet wants to kill itself or take itself out of existence. There's a helper function called destroy, which takes a reference to an object. So if we want to self-destruct, we could say destroy this. Is it going to work? Let's see. Go back to our ship, turn, fire. The bullet didn't go away. Did we save our code? We did. Here's our Nerf bullet. Do you see the issue? Transform, sphere, mesh filter, mesh renderer, sphere collider, rigid body, constant force. That's our bullet. Do you see the issue? It doesn't. Why doesn't it? Let's try this again. Did we break our prefab? How could our bullet not have bullet logic? We received the callback because we got the debug.log, right? Let's try this again. Let's press play. Let's rotate our ship. And I'm going to pause it as soon as I press the button with Control-Shift-P. That's my shortcut for pausing. So we're going to fire, and I pause. Let's click on the bullet. There's our Nerf bullet clone. Transform, mesh filter, mesh renderer, sphere collider, rigid body, constant force, bullet logic. Oh. Okay, I'm going to, I can single step by pressing this button if you want to simulate and see exactly what's happening. Keep your eyes on the bullet logic component at the end. Oh. What's the problem? Did you see it? It destroys the script, yeah. So that's, do you remember last week? You're inside a component. This pointer does not refer to the game object. This pointer refers to the script object. So if you want to destroy the game object that all the components are attached to, you have to say destroy.this .game object. Common bug, I guarantee in a class of 33, 5, I will see this 5 times on assignment 1. Okay? So it's real easy to destroy a component. That's how you remove a component off a game object at runtime. So it's kind of cool. You can start to see, oh, a game object can, here's aspect-oriented polymorphism, if I can use that word. You can remove a component off a game object at runtime, and you can go add component at runtime and add a different one if you want to. So you can entirely change the profile of a game object. You can change its component profile on the fly. We'll do that for like enchantments and buffs and poison spells and things like that. We'll do it to change AI behaviors. So it can be really interesting. Does that make sense? Okay.